I'm going to take back to you right at the point when you had completed your bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Yes.
At that point in time, uh, after doing so, did you not thought about pursuing higher studies, probably going to the US or any European countries,
Yes.
especially I would say Germany, because
Yes.
that's where all the mechanical
Yes. Yes.
engineering, automobile engineering per
Yes.
se
Yes. Right. Right.
has the best of the colleges and universities.
Yes. 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 Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. This is a good question. After doing my BE mechanical, uh, one thing was clear in my mind that whatever I will study will be, or whatever I will do in future will be within India. For some reason, I must have taken that decision. There are a lot of things to happen. My family background, for example, my grandparents were freedom fighters, and that country patriotism. Those were the teachings to us, to all the three of us. So and my parents were also very particular. So I always felt that whatever I do, I will be in India and study. So, and I had that faith and conviction that I chose also that institute to be there so that I can learn so many things. And so many people now are telling me that each project that you have done, you could have applied and done some acquired some degree like MTech or PhD. Like so many projects you have been doing. So I feel yes, acquiring degrees and further studies methodically has its own value. One should do it. But that was the time when people were not after so much about doing MTech, and they were. I mean, I had colleagues who have done it, but it wasn't so mandatory. I could go with that. So it so happened that I got into job, and that job was so fulfilling that it taught me so many things already, and it gave me so much opportunity to learn new things that I kept studying, though I didn't acquire any degree, which I may have. I mean, I may have just gone for 6 months to IIT, applied. It's possible. I mean, PhD by research is also available, and it was also suggested to me by many of my seniors also. Somehow, what happens is you get into family, and uh, there are priorities and there are choices to make. So this was my choice that okay, I'm learning even though without the degree. I'm sure that I'll give the same output to the industry. So that's
I
what.
have a question from the parent's perspective. It
Yeah.
may not be the right question. I may not put it in the right words. It may sound a little too straightforward, but let me
Hmm.
still ask you.
Yeah.
And this is the platform that I can. So,
Yeah.
is it true that mechanical engineers are not paid handsomely as compared to the other engineering in
Hmm.
the in the market at the moment, and
Yeah.
could be the reason that students are not encouraged by
Yeah.
peer community as well to go ahead and
Yes.
pursue
Yes.
this form of engineering?
Yes. It is true. It is true. You don't have to hesitate asking this question. It
Okay,
is true. I said na. I also hesitated talking about white collar jobs.
right.
You will remember 15 minutes ago. I also wanted to say this. Yeah, but exactly these are the reasons. I'm not denying. However, you have to again make choices. Just now I talked about choice. You have to make a choice that I like a particular subject, and for my living, how much do I expect to earn, and will I be able to do so? Like I may not get that extra money, but I will get that extra satisfaction. And I will tell you, like in my group, in my institute, whoever was there, we have we have made such a wonderful family, and of discussions and all that. I'm so happy to tell you that all that team has remained in the subject. They have not gone out lot. They must be having a lot of luring opportunities to go ahead. And yes, you earn a lot. I mean, there is a percentage difference. However, There are still some people who like to do it and remain there. There is a difference here. And there is not a difference only in our country, it is everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. But you
Uh,
have to make a choice.
right. Something that comes to my mind is that it being a core engineering, it's going to probably um, build a very solid foundation for
Yeah.
anything that the students may want to pursue in the future.
Yeah.
And with the times that are changing right now,
Yeah.
with the technologies that have come in play now,
Yeah.
I'm sure, I think the environment is becoming as such where now even the government is
Yes.
wanting students to be in their own country and do better
Yes.
and study better as well. So I think with
Yes.
times changing, mechanical engineering will gain a big momentum,
Yes.
because the kind of examples that you cited, I
Yes.
think those were so interesting that I'm sure most of the people are not
Yes.
aware as to
Yes.
where it can be implemented apart from knowing that go ahead and open your own garage. Uh,
Yes.
so, but there's a lot that goes behind it. And
Yes.
because there is not so much of awareness, probably is the case that even parents are not encouraging so much
Yes.
to have their students go ahead and pursue mechanical engineering as such. What are the various institutes or good institutes where a good mechanical engineer gets passed out are available in Maharashtra per se and
Yeah.
out of Maharashtra?
Right. Before answering this question, I will answer one question that I will talk about some subject which is important in this discussion is where all mechanical engineering gets applied. So this simulation, by using these simulation techniques, you will be surprised that I have applied from starting from automotive structures, mechanically material handling structures, defense projects. See, this Make in India drive of the government has brought into so much of mechanical engineering in this country. We are making our own defense equipment. You must be aware of this fact that government is promoting lot of private sectors in order to create your own defense systems. Now, I will not name the places, but to tell you the truth, I am associated with some of these. And I am associated with the simulation teams who are into the analysis of defense structures. And I know how much of engineering we are using there and how much of simulation we are using. So that is one area where my country is, driving, Make in India drive, and we have to be aware of this drive. On the other side, in the biomechanical sides also, biomedical engineering, you know intraocular lenses are being made in our country, started, there are startups in this area now. So by using the same simulation techniques, I have also analyzed the intraocular lenses and their adequacy and how they will meet the testing. So there are, a lot of things can be done, understanding that this Make in India drive, if you want to take it very seriously, you need a lot of mechanical engineers. And going back to the colleges in Maharashtra, there are government colleges, obviously. There are certain COAP, BZTI are definitely there. Then there are a lot of private colleges which are also very good. To name a few, like today's private colleges in Maharashtra, I won't be knowing the exact status today, but whatever I know from last 10 years, like when my children were getting into these colleges, I know that PICT is there, VIT is there, MIT is there in Pune. Then of course there are other colleges. Um, of course, IITs are there. So likewise, it's you can study and come out with good colleges. But I will say that once, since the university is the same for all the colleges, many things are decided by the students' self study. So self study is really very important. So I will not go too much into the details of why a particular college is not good or why a particular college is very good. I will say that if you have to give the same exam of same university, if something is not taught properly, it can happen. There are so many, I mean, few thousands of colleges across Maharashtra. It's not possible for the university to, supply teachers to every place. But why don't we study? Why don't we do some efforts and cross the boundaries of good and bad college? This is
Right.
my way of looking at it.
What are the prospects of a mechanical engineer to get into what kind of a job, and especially in the corporate sector?
Hmm.
And which are those prominent organizations or companies that hire mechanical engineers?
Um, uh, all automotive companies, everybody, and a lot of EVs have also come out now across India. So all those companies hire mechanical engineers. All infrastructure companies like L&T ho, or whoever is doing the road building also, they don't only need civil engineers, they also need mechanical engineers for their structures. So those need mechanical. Then um, automotive hai, and of course lot of factories who are making components, who are making engine components, all of them also. So in fact, I will say, wherever there is a production, even if I have to make a computer hardware, you need a mechanical engineer there in order to manufacture things. For a PCB also you need a mechanical engineer. For making a PCB, for making chips, you have to do a lot of material analysis. You have to understand which is conductive, which is not conductive, which is better for if the inductance is there. A lot of things are there. So composites, FRPs, in the Chandrayaan also, we know so much of composites have been used, and lot of small composite manufacturing, FRP manufacturing industries have supported. So wherever you want to create something, component, manufacture something, you need a mechanical engineer. So
So
I
there,
will say every industry for that matter.
so there are companies that flash my mind right now when you're talking of chips and composites and stuff like that, which could
Yeah.
be Siemens or Intel,
Yes, yes, yes.
um, or
Of course,
could be
yeah.
healthcare
Yes,
providers as well,
absolutely.
products providers as well, for that matter.
Absolutely. Now, when we analyze the intraocular lens, I know how much depth we had to go into. What kind of a material is there? What kind of what kind of properties do we need, which will be good for human eye, and things like that. So yes, it is necessary everywhere.
Great. Just want to come back to your childhood now. You did mention about your grandparents, and you did mention
Yeah.
about your father.
Yes.
Um, was it a very, not everybody will get that kind of a childhood or have a
Yes.
background.
Yes.
So, for the people who do not have that kind of a background in their own
Yes.
home,
Yeah.
in terms of being aware or informed
Yeah.
parents
Yes.
and highly educated parents for that matter,
Yes.
right? What is it that probably you might want to share in terms of them preparing for them being an engineer in the future?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's a very good, interesting questions. And whenever I go to any industry, I keep meeting young engineers, and I keep telling them a couple of things. I feel that for any now, since you connected it to my childhood, I feel that I have to also connect to the parents now, even though they are not educated in the same engineering area. Nowadays there is a good level of education amongst parents. They might have done finance, they might have done arts or whatever it is, but yes, their understanding level has increased. The way they can dig things out of Google is increased. So I will tell them one thing, that um, you you have to first make your child prepared for decision making. You know, starting from choosing his clothes from his second or third year of his age, you have to allow him to choose. And if he does any wrong choice, if suppose he chooses some toy which is not good for him, you should be able to explain to him why and why not. That inculcates the ability to decision make, to think, and to ask questions, and to answer, and not just to say that because I'm telling you please do this. No, that should not be done. So even if the parents are not engineers, it doesn't mean that child is devoid of anything. Every parent can do this, that from a very young age. Like my mother was did her matriculation, and she was a very good writer, but she had excellent EQ. She would discuss with us on any subject. Because why? Because she took interest in understanding what are we doing. So it is just that interest which makes it. It's not your degree or your background education that makes a difference. It is just your attitude towards things. So you just have to, be very talkative with your children. Understand what they think. And if you think that their understanding is not at par, or it doesn't match your culture, or it doesn't match your thought process, you have to discuss with them why you'd feel so. They have to think. So this thinking ability in children will make them decide going forward what they really like. Otherwise, what happens? No, this shirt will look good on you. Please take this. This pattern looks very good for you. Yellow colors looks good for you. Why are you telling? Let him choose. This is, it starts from that. And once the child becomes, he knows that, yes, I can take decision. And if I go wrong, my parents are there. It's not that everybody knows everything. Even I didn't know anything. My son took electronics. My husband is electronics. He was discussing with him. But that didn't change anything. None of us were doctors, but my daughter is a doctor today. You don't have to be in the stream in order to advise, is what, in short, I'm trying to say. You just have to understand and be very interactive with your children. And any parent can do it. And this is parents' duty. You interact, you understand what they feel. You have to also understand, and the child develops this ability, that, and then develops the inner voice. We talk a lot about inner voice. What is your inner voice? Inner voice, it doesn't get developed all of a sudden out of a blue. No, inner voice has to be get developed. How it gets developed is by understanding your own aptitude, understanding what is your liking, which subject do you like the most. You have to also understand your ability to do so. Many times, see, I like music a lot, but unfortunately my voice doesn't like me to sing. It doesn't stop me from listening, but yes, it stops me from singing. So this is my ability. I cannot. So you have to understand your own abilities, your own aptitudes, your own capacity, your own strengths, and that is a knowledge based inner voice which tells you what to do and when.
Right.
So engineering is not the only thing. No, there are so many streams today. So this kind of aptitude, if you develop, this kind of inner voice, if you help your child develop, child will take good decisions.
Right. I think this has been a very interesting conversation, especially to touch base on a lot of aspects of mechanical engineering as a subject, and quite informative. So thank you so much. We really enjoyed talking with you. We hope you did as well, sharing your wisdom. And the other thing, probably, we might want to continue more episodes with you, especially on mechanical engineering as well, to bring in more awareness, to bring in more curiosity, to bring in more likeliness toward this core engineering subject of the big engineering branch. And we would really want more and more people to also start thinking about mechanical engineering as a career going forward. Of course, there would be various branches toward it that they might want to specialize further. As we already said, that it can be applied on land, earth, meaning land, water, and air, and also into the solar system. So I think we will talk a little bit more, and I would really want you to be a part of that conversation as well in the future. I will keep you posted with the schedule. On a parting note, is there anything that you would want to say, one thing to the students and one thing to the parents?
Yes. First of all, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak my heart out, because all these subjects are very close to my heart and I keep thinking about it. And whenever I go to industry, and I usually interact with these younger engineers, because they are working on the simulation and I am there as an advisor, and I get a lot to interact with them. And I keep telling them that don't leave, don't leave this subject is very important, remain in the subject. So you gave me an opportunity to say publicly whatever I feel very strongly, and I keep pursuing it with my all those engineering teams. So thank you for that. And uh, uh, as I told you, I will say that to the parents, you have to be friends with your children, and children also have to know that if you have the best friends in your house, and for that, that conducive environment has to be made, and the parents have to take a lead in that. If that happens, we don't have to get scared of a lot of exposure to unwanted things from internet, and lot of use and cries from the parents I hear these days. Why are we scared? Why don't we inculcate this culture into them, that if you discuss, like, you tell them that, see, this is a subject of physics, go ahead and read whatever you are, and you teach me. When he tries to teach, he knows he has to understand properly. So various ways in which children can be very friendly with the parents, and they share everything with the parents, and then you don't have to get scared, what will they do, what are they doing, keep an eye on them, what are they doing outside. And you don't have to do that, because children will follow, because they will find it very interesting to interact with their parents. So that is the environment which we are responsible as elders to create in the house. So that would be my that would be the thing that I want to share with them, because I have been a parent myself, and both of us, my husband is also electronics from IIT Mumbai, BTech and MTech both. And he also had a very fulfilling career. And we both, when had one child going into engineering, one child going into medicine, we also found it very interesting and very friendly with them with this journey.
And one last thing for the students,
Yeah.
the aspirants community.
Yeah. The aspirants community, you decide. As I told you, if you start really learning the subjects in 9th, 10th, 11th, if you are in depth with the subject, if you are comfortable with the subjects, you will really know what you like. Today's world has become so fast that you have not given any time in the 12th standard to think about what do I want to do, and there is competition. So in that, child gets lost. Really, I feel today's students have a lot of burden on their shoulders. They have a lot of expectation on their shoulders. But if they make themselves very sure that this is the topic I want, this is the subject I want, no matter how do I earn in this, will come secondary. If you understand, if you like the subjects, you will do best in that. Once you do best in one particular stream, there is no problem in changing it. For example, a lot of people are doing MBA these days. If you think that, okay, I did all these things, but I think if I do MBA, I'll be better off commercially, maybe. Or if I do computer software, all right, these are all things which you can learn later. But core subjects, physics, chemistry, maths, and the core subjects, you cannot learn later. So keep that in mind and go ahead.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your advice and your wisdom as well. It was wonderful talking with you, Ms. Athavale, and looking forward for more interesting conversations with you too.
Yes, sure. Thanks a lot. I would be glad to share.
Absolutely.